All these things actually help us in overcoming this through spiritual knowledge. That is the reason why spiritual leaders are now increasingly focusing on stress management. You just go to YouTube, and then when you type stress management spirituality, you see so many spiritual leaders talking about stress management. Okay, right. Now, before we get into this management part of it, I always like to keep things simple and then break the topic into different aspects. Now, let's try to understand what is this stress. People say that I am under stress. Agreed. But let us be clear about the definition of stress. Stress is an unspecified reaction of the body to a particular situation. The body does not know that this is how it has to be. It has to react. That is why it is called unspecified reaction, because your body may react in one way to one particular stress today. Tomorrow, the same stress, your body may react differently. Today, it is a question of flight. Say, for example, flight is you run away from the stressful situation. That is called flight. You frequently hear this in stress management, fight or flight. This flight situation may happen today. Tomorrow, what will happen is you stand back and fight. Look at what has happened. Of course, no politics involved. I don't want to get into any of this politics or controversies. Now, look at the current situation in Ladakh. Earlier, it was a question of flight. I am underlining once again, I am not a fan of anyone. I am not talking politics. I am just giving you the situation as it is. Earlier, when the Chinese army, the People's Liberation Army came in, we simply started negotiation. Today, we are saying that we will stare back and fight. See, this is what happens. See, unspecified reaction. You don't know how your body will react. At that particular point of time, we don't know how we will react. Second, stress can also be defined as a psychological pain. It's not a body pain, physical pain. It's a psychological pain. That is the reason why this becomes all the more difficult. Because psychological pain, I cannot understand. Physical pain, if you tell me, no, I have a severe headache, I also know, okay, at some point of time, I would have had some headache, and I know, okay, fine, okay, there is a loss of concentration, I will not be able to do anything. There is, that nagging pain here, all these things, I can understand. But the stress is a psychological pain. Psychological pain, anything which cannot be expressed in quantifiable terms, it's very, very difficult to understand because we're talking of the abstract. So here also, stress is a psychological pain. Psychological pain experienced under certain circumstances. It is not that you are always under stress, but only circumstances. Some circumstances make you feel stressed. Stress can be defined as any type of change that causes physical, mental, and emotional deformities. These three words become very, very crucial. It causes physical deformity, mental deformity, and emotional deformity because of a mixture of environment. That is, anything which surrounds me, this is an environment. This environment, then individual, that is me, it's a mixture. Environment, myself, and people near me, people around me. So it's a mixture. All these three put together causes some physical, mental, and emotional deformities. We'll be seeing one by one. Now, how do we characterize a stress? Let us understand how stress can be described. Stress is universal. It simply means that all of us face stress. I may face stress in some situation. You may feel stress in some other situation. But stress is experienced by all of us. Stress is experienced by humans and animals as well. Animals as well. Probably would have seen a lot of WhatsApp videos coming immediately after this Corona thing started, sometime around April, May, where animals, the pet dogs, cats, they had to be taken away from their owners. They're also human. They're also living beings. So what happens is they experience stress. They are new people. They are facing new people, new situations, new environment. And the moment they come back to the owners, look at the joy and happiness. You have seen a lot of videos. So stress is experienced by humans and animals. Then stress is unique to each person. That is, the stress is something which is individual. That is, the amount of stress which I feel in one particular stress, in one particular situation, you may not feel the same situation. Say, for example, I don't like mathematics, or I have psychological fear of mathematics. The moment I see numbers, I feel stressed out. For instance, I don't know. See, basically today, Usman University conducted its examination. One paper on finance. Now, as this paper on finance, they had some numerical problems given as a part of the examination question paper. When I go for valuation of MBA papers, one thing which I constantly see is people simply avoid numerical problems and write. See, the numerical problem, the solution is maybe a half a page. But they prefer to write a 3 or 4 pages of theory. Now, what is happening is that is a reaction of the people. People who are writing that answers, saying that, look, I am stressed out because of these numbers. The moment I see numbers, I am stressed out. So I would be more comfortable with letters and paragraphs. So there will be a lot more people who will say, no, I will be happy if I have a numerical problem because I don't need to write anything. All that, the figures, formulas, apply the formulas, next step, 4 or 5 steps, and then close the question. No writing, just some is equal to, you keep on writing and then close it. Then stress is a qualitative term, and presently there is no measurement technique. Stress as of now cannot be measured. Maybe we don't know. The way artificial intelligence is developing, probably sooner or later we will be able to measure how much of a stress a person is having. Put it in quantitative terms. Okay, that's how this artificial intelligence is going on. So what happens is, today, as of today, it is a qualitative term. I am feeling stressed. Oh, there's so much of stress. I don't feel any stress. See, the thing is, it's all qualitative. Then stress is individualistic. That is, what the circumstances causing stress for one person may not cause the stress for another person. There are people who don't like, say, for example, traveling or meeting a person and speaking to strangers. Believe me, there are so many people who are stressed out if they have to talk to strangers. Not that that talk needs to be for about half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. No, just introduce, tell that you are so and so, so and so, I am so and so, so and so, and this is the purpose of my coming to you. That sort of thing to a stranger, talking to a stranger, that causes so much of stress. Whereas there'll be some people, equal number of people who are all the more happy when they are talking to a stranger. to keep on meeting strangers, talk to them, understand them, especially marketing people, if you see, they keep on meeting strangers and then talk to them happily. They tell about their product, they know about the other's product and then others' problems, and then they keep on talking. So stress is intelligence. What causes stress to me may not cause stress to you. Now, stress is, look at the statistics. The study in US claims that the loss to American economy is more than $300 billion per year because of stress. Stress leads to increased absenteeism. Stress leads to lot of rework. Stress leads to lot of errors in the work. All these things they studied, and then they arrived at the figure of $300 billion. Look at such a huge figure, all because of this 6-letter word, stress. Then let's look at this types of stress. One way, see, various people have categorized stress in various perspectives. One way is whether it is a positive stress or a negative stress. Stress can be both ways, positive or negative. One is called the eustress. Eustress is, a positive stress. Why it is called positive? Because this stress helps us to perform better. I need to achieve first rank in the examinations, or I need to, in the next 5 years, I have to keep a savings of about 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, whatever. Okay. So accordingly, what happens is we keep on driving towards that goal. So that sort of, see, it's not easy. If you have to get first rank, then you'll have to put in more efforts. Then not just efforts, but then you'll have to start thinking of how to write the answers, then how to improve yourself. See, there are so many things which are associated. You need to plan for it, you need to act on your plans and then implement your plans in the examination hall. So many associated things happen. So all this stress drives us to perform better. Then this eustress motivates us to achieve our targets. We all need some motivation to do something. Motivation is the basic thing which will propel us to work. Now, what happens is this motivation is required. For that, we need to have some stress. Now, stress acts like a catalyst. Those of you who are familiar with chemistry, in the school chemistry, we have heard of this word called catalyst. That is, it will not take part in the reaction, but it will speed up the reaction. So this catalyst, what happens is this, it speeds up the reaction. It makes us work towards achieving our goals. Now, eustress is desirable. All of us need to have this eustress if we have to progress in life. Otherwise, what happens is life is sedentary because there is no motivation. Now, why should I work? I don't have anything. I don't want to get anything. I don't want to have anything. Then, under such circumstances, how will you develop? So, there is no motivation for you to work. So, unless and until there is some target, some stress that I have to do this, I have to achieve this by this week, I need to do this, by this year, I need to do this. Unless and until you have that sort of stress, we will not progress. The second classification, that is, the second type is distress. Eustress, distress. Distress is a negative stress. This negative stress, distress, causes ill feelings. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm jealous about some things. Okay, so these are all negative stress. So then this distress, it causes physical and psychological effect. See, like the earlier, the positive stress, eustress, what happens is it motivates to achieve, whereas this distress, what happens is it what happens is it has physical and psychological effect. As we will be seeing later on, there are a lot of physical complications which arise out of this sort of stress. Then, in many instances, stress creates negative image. That is, when people are under stress, they are frustrated, they are angry, they are short-tempered, they don't know what they are talking, and they don't know what they are doing. No, people will say, oh, this fellow, don't go to him. Don't go to Kasturi because he's always short-tempered. Don't go to him because he's not going to help you. He'll straight away say no. So what happens is this negative image is created among the person's friends and family, among friends and family members. Now, this distress needs to be avoided or managed. Generally, in many situations, at least partly, this cannot be avoided. So it has to be only managed. Then the second type of stress classification is physical, psychological, and psychosocial. Physical stress is pain experienced by the body. When we have a headache, when we have a thigh muscle pulled up, or we have a small fracture in our hand. So what happens is there is that pain, that nagging pain is there, or sometimes when you're driving a long distance or in heavy traffic, you keep on shifting gears, your legs and arms pain. So this sort of pain is experienced by the body and the stress levels go up. Then the inability to move independently. You are not able to move independently. You are depending on someone else. That also causes physical strain and also it causes stress. Then comes the body injuries. I may fall down. When I fall down, what happens is that causes more stress. Then psychological stress, like fear, anxiety. I don't know why I'm afraid, but then I'm afraid. So what happens is that fear which is created and the anxiousness, I don't know what will happen. The future is uncertain. I don't know tomorrow what is going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm going to meet my boss. So what happens is that anxiety, it raises a lot, it makes a lot of changes in the body. We'll be seeing shortly now. Then the psychosocial, that is, it is caused by the psychological feeling of social events. That's why it's called psychosocial. Psychological changes caused by social events. Suppose I need to meet some of my colleagues or former colleagues in some situation where it is not favorable to me. Okay, that immediately it creates stress. Okay, similarly with family members, for some reason, sometimes these things keep happening. Then a third way of categorizing stress is acute stress, episodic stress, and chronic stress. The acute stress is a stress for a very brief period of time. That is, for a very short period. That is, maybe a half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 1 day, 2 days. Now, what this acute stress does is it requires the body to react immediately. You don't have time. It reacts, the body has to react immediately. Either you face the situation or you flee from the situation. Say, for example, I am driving my vehicle. Suddenly the policeman stops my vehicle. What do? Either I stop or run away. What? I have to decide fast. See, it's a stressful situation because I know my insurance is not renewed. Face. Okay, fine. The police person will challan saying that you're not renewed the insurance of your vehicle. You're not supposed to do this. So he will write a challan. Face the situation. Alternatively, promise him that then and there I will do it and then you get it done. That's a different thing. Alternatively, if you are capable enough, you run away. So here you have to act. Whatever it is, you have got to react fast. Either you face a situation or run away. Then episodic stress. These are related to a particular episode, some particular situation. So here what happens is, this is again a short term. Suppose my boss has assigned me some work. I have either forgotten or I have not done it. And then my boss calls me. When my boss calls me, what do? It's episode. That is at one, there is some particular instance which is going to happen, because I know my boss is in a very bad mood today because of some other issues. And he is calling me. Now I know I have not done my work. That creates a lot of stress. Okay. Now this stress gets released once the episode passes away. Once I go meet my boss, and then whatever he wants to say, he tells. Whatever I have to tell, I will tell. Once that is over, maybe I'll ask him for I'll apologize and then ask for some more time, and then I come back. Once that is over, my stress levels is 0. That is why it's called episodic stress. The third one is chronic stress. Chronic stress is, it's a long term situation. Long term situation is, suppose if you look at this traffic police constables, the levels of stress which these people face is tremendous. There will be someone who is driving without any, driving rudely or rashly. Someone whose car has stopped in the middle of the road. Someone who picks up a fight in the middle of the road, stopping his vehicle and stopping other vehicles. So what happens is, the traffic police constable, he has to manage. Above all, please understand, he has to stand for hours together, whether it is raining or it is the hot sun. He has to stand for a long time. So what happens is, these are all chronic stress. Very, very dangerous. Chronic stress is very dangerous. Why? Without your knowing, without your understanding, it is already causing damage to your body. Okay. Now, what this chronic stress does is, it always makes the individual fear or resent. Fear of something or resent. Nen cheyyanu. I will not do this. I don't want this. I don't like this. No, the resentment comes out. Then, symptoms of stress. Stress has to come out somewhere. It is not that it is going to be internalized. Somewhere, somehow it has to come out. Here, what happens is, suppose you take a balloon, you blow the balloon, and then tie that nozzle. You start pressing it. When you press it, what happens? At the place where it is pressed, it immediately compresses. But then at another place, it bulges. So that means that stress is being transferred elsewhere. Here also, stress comes out in some form. What form? Physical form. It comes in two forms. One is the form of physical and then emotional level. At the physical level, what happens is, you see so many people suffering from blood pressure, going to the doctor and then saying, look, my blood pressure is 180 by 120. No, doctor says it should be 120 by 90, preferably 120 by 80 or 110 by 80. You are already high, so I will give you this medicine, I will give you that medicine. And then sometimes what happens is, there is so much of palpitation. No, the hands start trembling because of the stress levels. So what happens is, it comes out. Then backaches, headaches, no, insomnia, that is, you don't get proper sleep. Then shortness of breath. That is, you start the shallow breathing. These are all the symptoms of stress. At the emotional level, how does the stress come out? The stress comes out through irritation. Eh, I don't want this. Anxiety. I don't know what is going to happen. Oh, I may be taken out from a job. I may be taken out from this project. I don't know what will happen today evening. I don't know tomorrow morning how I am going to face this situation. That anxiety. Then forgetfulness. I forget whatever. See, I may be having a good memory. Earlier, I was having a good memory, but then now what is happening is I may forget things. Then difficulty in concentration. I take up some work. I'm not able to concentrate on the work. Now, see, all these things, please understand, all these symptoms are in a cycle. You allow stress to overtake you. All these things will cause further stress. Further stress. You forget something, what your boss has told, and then ultimately, it creates more problems. You're not able to concentrate on your work, then that work is a shoddy work. That is, it is not up to the quality. That creates more problems. So these are all symptoms of stress. Then why it is so important to understand stress? Stress affects us physically and emotionally. That's the first thing we need to understand. It affects us physically and emotionally. Now, what the problem with this impacting is, it creates further stress. Emotionally, I told you, see this irritation, anxiety. Now, what happens if you are irritated? Someone comes to you, normally, enter allow now, then I say, ah, I don't want to talk to you. Next day will he come? No, he will not come. That means that I have already lost one good friend. So what happens is that stress creates further stress. And then when you have time after the event, when you start thinking, oh, today afternoon, that person had come during lunchtime and asked me what is it. I told him this way. I should not have told him. My ego does not permit me to go and apologize to him. All these things leads to further stress. Whether even if I apologize, whether that fellow will accept my apology, because once we tell something, the other person may be deeply hurt. If he's really understanding, that's a different story. But then most of the people are not that way. So what happens is this creates further stress. Now comes the question of managing stress. Having understood all these things, we have to understand what is stress. Now we have described stress. How do we manage stress? When something is unavoidable, the next best course of thing is managing. I said everyone, stress is universal. Everyone faces stress at all points of time. If someone says, no, I don't have stress, he is lying. It could be distress or eustress, that's a different thing. But then if the other person says, anyone, he says, no, 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 I don't have anything, absolutely nothing, then that is not to be believed. So what is the next best alternative is, now we are very clear that stress is unavoidable. So best course is manage stress. So that what happens is, why we need to manage stress is, this current situation, wherever we are under this particular stress, that needs to pass over first. The second thing is, we need to protect at least our close circle from my irritation, from my anger. Okay. So what happens is, that is why we need to manage the stress. For this, generally, we have a 3-point agenda: accept, acknowledge, and act. Simple things. Accept that everything and always the situation cannot be favorable to us. There are so many things which are beyond our control. And if I start trying to change the whole thing, I try to change the whole world, it may not be possible. I have to accept that, okay, fine. I can do only this much, and then the rest I will not be able to do. Accept that. Then accept that we may not achieve 100% throughput 100% of the time. I write a big list that the moment I go to office, these are the things which I need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Morning, I keep on writing. Then evening when I check, this is tick, this is tick, this is tick. Then the rest, nothing, no action. Because by the time, it's already 7 p.m. So what happens is, I may not achieve 100% throughput. Whatever I have planned, I may not achieve. Even if I achieve today, maybe again tomorrow I cannot expect. That is why I say 100% of the time. Every time I plan, I cannot say that, okay, this is tick, this is tick, this is tick, this is tick. No, this will not happen. That I have to accept the reality. Accept that there are events and circumstances which are beyond our control, which are beyond our control. See, so many situations beyond our control. I cannot do anything. The other day I went to the airport, the flight was delayed. I had an urgent meeting. The flight was delayed by 3 hours. Gone. Is it in my control? No. At best, what will the airline company do? They'll say, okay, take a refund. But what will I do with the refund? And no, I have to wait. So there are situations which are beyond our control. Accept that at times we may need one shoulder to fall back. No, this is one thing which sadly is missing in many people whom I talk to. They don't share their problems. I'm not saying that you share your problems with everyone. No. Have one person on whom you can trust. See, he may not give the solution, but the moment you talk about certain things which is causing stress, your stress levels automatically come down. No, for starters, for those who believe, one best way is, which I suggest early in one of my earlier programs, was please go to a place of worship, whether it is a temple or a church or a mosque or a fire temple, whatever, wherever you believe, go there. You talk to God, saying that, look, because others will not be able to, others will not listen. Okay, talk to God, and then they see you're pouring out your feelings. Automatically, your mind will calm down. Accept that at least one shoulder, one good friend, one trustworthy person. He may be your friend, he may be sometimes your competitor. Accept that you require one shoulder to fall back. Then accept that human beings are powerless in some situations. And some people where our ideas may not work. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to control everything. No, this will not happen. There are situations which sometimes it doesn't work. Whatever you do, it is not going to work. So we have to accept this. Then acknowledge that we are stressed. Many people you talk, they keep on working. They keep working, and they're always under stress, pressure. That's a different thing. But then they will never say that, look, I am stressed out. No, sometime back in the cricket match also, a new trend started saying that mental fatigue has set in. So I want to take time off. I don't want to go and play cricket anymore for a few days or a few months, a few tours, whatever. So what happens is, first thing is we have to know that, oh, I am passing through a stressful period. Acknowledge. Then identify the type of stress. That was the reason why I took that, types of stress. What type of stress is this? Is this psychosocial, physical, or psychological? Because once you understand this is the type, then it is much easier to take remedial measures. Remedial measures to say that, oh, okay, fine, this type, it is this type. So sometimes it is passing, sometimes it's going to be chronic. Okay, this, as long as this situation continues, I am going to be under this sort of stress. So for this, again, you start working. Okay, fine, how do I get out of this cycle? So we need to understand the type of stress. That was why I had put it in detail. Then acknowledge that we will require professional help to tide over our current situation. We may require a professional help. Say, for example, I am trying for a change of job. A change of job, wherein I will say that, look, I want to change job, but I don't want anyone to know that I am trying for a job. Sometimes we need to acknowledge, and that, because the present job where I am is stressful. I know that. So there is nothing wrong in going to a placement consulting job person and say, look, so this is my profile, and I am looking for a change. Nothing wrong. Or talk to your old friend, maybe a senior or your junior or someone whom you know, and in whom you can confide, saying that, look, there is a problem here. I need to change. So we may be required to seek a professional help. Then act. Several instances where stress can be a result of procrastination, that is, keep on postponing. Oh, let me see later on. 2 minutes job today, if you do it, 2 minutes job, 1 minute job, you can complete it. But the thing is, okay, let me check, let me see. So that postponing itself may create a lot of stress at a later stage. What we are doing is, we are postponing not the work, we are postponing the stress. And at that point of time, it will become a bigger problem. Please understand, though I don't take politics, but then look at what Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, our former Prime Minister, did. He was one person who took the art of non-action to a different level, different plane. That is, he started discussing about certain things when everyone was talking something else. He started, taking a different path and then talking about different things. What he did was, he was only postponing certain things. He said, time is the best healer. No action is also action. So he could do it. He could afford to do it. He did it, and successfully. But this strategy may not work in all situations. And then, in many situations, acting immediately may save the individual from avoidable stress. My boss tells me something. He has already given me so much of work for the next 1 week. Then he says, this also. If I tell a simple, sir, you have already given me this. I am working on this. Can I complete whatever is being given now? Can I complete it after this? Or if this is more urgent, shall I keep it pending and then work on this? So what happens is, saying this no, and politely saying this no when we are totally stretched out. That is, we are working overtime as it is, and still lot more work is coming. Then it is better that, a simple question will avoid a lot of stress. Then managing stress in many situations, what happens is, these are all things which people keep on telling, but then we need to keep on reminding people, please prioritize, write down important things to be done. Because what happens is when you are under stress, I told you lack of concentration, you tend to forget a lot of things. When we tend to forget a lot of things, that adds further stress. That is why when we put it on paper, saying that item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, now I can prioritize. Oh, this my boss wants it, this my subordinate wants it, this my auditor wants it, this my colleague wants it, this my family members want it. So what happens is I'll be able to prioritize. Okay. Then sleep is a very big and very good stress buster. I told you about insomnia. When you're under pressure, when you're under stress, the first thing that will be affected is sleep. You don't have proper sleep. This lack of sleep itself creates more concentration problems. So a good sleep, forget about everything. A good sleep will make the mind fresh. Because let us understand the psychology of sleep. Why sleep is so important is it is during the sound sleep that the mind and the brain gets time to repair the body. No, see, brain has its own backup plans. There are problems in the body, how to restore the body back. No, it is only during that sleep time that brain, because there are no other activities, brain thinks, and then automatically it carries out this repair tinkering works. So what happens is that is why you are much more relaxed when you have a good sleep. Now this calm mind will be able to give you better solutions. That will automatically, that again, that cycle continues. A calm mind, better solution, you have more time, more lesser stress. That is, you have more time, more productivity, lesser stress. That further leads to more time. So what happens is again the stress levels come down. The third thing is do nothing. Now, do nothing. This sounds a joke, but believe me, do nothing is a very, very big thing. When you're totally stressed out, you do not know what to do. Simply close everything, close your eyes and keep quiet. Unfortunately, what is happening is doing nothing. I'm seeing this for the past 5, 6 months with many of my friends and juniors and known people, because they have nothing to do. That is where they're stressed out, because they have nothing to do. Especially some of my friends from places where morning 7 o'clock they have to pack up and then go. They're not able to do that. They're not doing that. Where do you go? Pack up and go. Where? All offices are closed. Work from home starts at 9 o'clock in the morning or 8:30 in the morning. So what happens is this doing nothing. What do they do between 7 o'clock to 8:30 or 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock? Nothing. That they're not able to digest. That there is so much of time available to them and they can do this or simply keep quiet. That is leading to a lot of frustration. And then create a leisure activity. Now, this everyone talks. Creating a leisure activity, that is, take some time off, develop some hobbies. If not anything, one of these two things, that is, sleep and do nothing. This is a better option. And now, I hope all of you would have heard of this name called Videocon Industries. Now, Videocon Industries, their boss, Mr. Venugopal Dutt, what he used to do was his major stress buster. In fact, in one of the interviews some time back, he was telling, how do you manage stress? He says when he is in the office between 2 to 2:15 p.m., no one is allowed inside his room. Whatever the emergency, no one is allowed between 2 to 2:15 in his room. Why? His room is a big room and it has a anteroom, that is an adjoining room. There he has a big pillow. He keeps punching that pillow because that frustration has to come out. That stress has to come out. And he's not harming anyone. He's punching that pillow. And now, once he comes out, then he is in a much better frame of mind. So that I told you that irritation and frustration will not be there. No, he doesn't want to aggravate the situation, because whatever frustration and anger he had, it has already been taken care of by the pillow. And once that is over, once the stress comes out, then probably you are much calmer and then look at problems differently. So these are simple things about managing stress. So this is all from my side. And any questions on this, I'll be happy. Hello? Yeah. I only hope that it has been useful. So thank you all for patiently listening. My mobile number, anyone who wants to contact, my number is 93470 34107. Thank you very much. Thank you. Madam, can we close the meeting, madam? Okay. Thank you.